Today, I want to tell you about the kind of weirdest thing I've been involved in. And when I say weird, I mean it's strange and weird in so many senses. Even that how the whole thing happened. Because what happened is I'm just sat in my house one evening, just enjoying the evening, and there's a knock at my door. So I go to the door, and I couldn't believe my eyes. It's a friend of mine from school. I haven't seen him for 10 years. He's in the CID. That's why I don't see him.
Right.
Because he kind of just
What's
feed off into that group.
Printing and the detectives kind of thing.
Yeah. And he's got his mate with him. So I'm like, bloody hell. I haven't seen him for ages, what's up? And he's like, can I come and have a word with you? I said, yeah, of course you can. And he knows me really well. I mean, we were a lot, inseparable at school.
Yeah.
But he says, I've got something I want you to look at, but before you agree to it, I'm going to tell you this. I said, okay. I said, is this official or unofficial? And he said, it's officially unofficial.
Right.
So what that means is he wants my perspective on something. So I said, yeah, no problem. Sit down. And he opens a laptop. And he says, what I want you to do is just watch this video. Don't say anything, just watch it. And watch it as many times as you like. But I want your perspective on it. Because he knows, science degrees and all sorts of things like that. And he knows I'm into histories and, all sorts of things. And I analyse things slightly different. Because, CID analyse things. A, B, C, D, and G, don't they?
With a textbook.
Whereas I look out from outside the box in all the time. And outside the box. So anyway, I watched this video. And I'll just give you a bit of background on what this video is about. It's a video of a house that's been designed by a designer. And when he was designing his burglar alarm system, he decided not to put a burglar alarm system in that's there to prevent burglars from getting in.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to build a system that prevented burglars from getting out.
Oh, yeah, so they can do what they've got to do, and then
once you're in, you're never getting out.
Yeah.
So when you find out what he's as he was building his house, he's building this security system into his house. It's a marvellous feat of engineering, but this is what the guy did for the job. So he's obviously building his dream home. And his one thing was, I don't want to prevent burglars from getting in. I want them to come in, but they'll never be able to get out once they're in. So he set this up. Now, I think from what I've seen so far and what I've been told by my friend, I think I'm going to watch. I'm expecting to be watching a burglar breaking in to his house and get captured by the burglar system. And one part of the burglar system in the kitchen alone, because the kitchen's kind of this is where it starts. It's designed so that if a burglar climbed in through the window, broke in through the window, the moment he touched the counters or the floor, steel iron shutters had just dropped right down through the window.
Yeah. So you could be a hand in the window and it would cut your hand off.
Yeah, cut your hand straight off. Yeah. This is like 2-inch thick steel plate that just goes straight down. And obviously, same happens to the doors.
Yeah.
Because you can open your doors normally.
They'll just
a steel sheet, like a steel door, slice straight across the wood. It literally traps you in the house. That's because all the floor is pressure padded. Now, a mouse could set this thing off.
That sensitive.
Yeah, it's that sensitive. And the sensors in the windows, there's heat sensors and stuff like that. It's absolutely amazing. But no, you can't see anything. It just looks like a normal window.
Yeah.
So you climb in and then you just see all these things stop and shutter. But in whatever room you go in, this is any room in the house, so if you climbing upstairs, it happened in the bedrooms, the kitchen, or the bathroom. Every single one is a trap.
Right.
Every room.
Every room.
Every room is a trap in this house. So it doesn't matter where you break in, you are not getting out. And the house automatically calls the police and tells them exactly what room you're in. It tells them whether you're male or female, because the camera systems inside can read
Analyse
and analyse whether you're male or female. It can take your weight, it can take your temperature. It can literally, things can see in infrared, ultraviolet, ultravox, and one that's called, it's like black light. And it can take all these independently and individually, so you can watch the whole thing in infrared, you can watch it all in ultraviolet. But on this laptop, it's got all these versions of it. There's files, different, the room in infrared.
Yeah.
So you can watch the same thing in infrared, you can watch it in ultraviolet, ultravox. Ultravox is like normal light.
Yeah.
So what I see is, I don't see anybody breaking in the house. I see the shutters go down in the kitchen. I'm thinking, what's got into the kitchen? So I'm automatically thinking, must be a rodent, a rat, or something's just touched the carpet somewhere. And we're watching a video.
A bit of dust would set up.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden, right in the middle of, next to the table in the kitchen, you can see it clear as day, with all the lights on. A silhouette appears of a human, just like you looking at a human silhouette on a wall. So if you shine a torch at you, will see your silhouette.
It's like a black silhouette.
Well, you can just, this is completely matte black, three-dimensional silhouette. It almost looks like a mannequin that's been painted matte black.
Okay.
And it literally appears in the room. And I'm thinking, because I said to him, is that a glitch in the video? And we've got some time lapse. And he said, no. There's not even a split second, it just appears.
Just like that, yeah.
Yeah. And what I'm watching is, let's call it a mannequin, because it's, whatever it is, it's not human, it's androgynous. And it's just, there's no facial features, nothing, it's just black. You can clearly see like what would be a nose.
Right, like facial features.
But where the eyes are, there are no eyes. There are no sockets, it's just as if a mannequin's just been moulded. The nose shapes. And I'm looking at this thing, and then this thing walks across the floor. Now what you've got to look at on the screen is all the registrations. Temperature of the object moving in the room is being tracked by the cameras. And there's no heat.
Just like a thermal.
It's literally the same temperature as the room. Exactly. So it appears as if it's got no temperature. Because it's exactly the same as the room. Even when it moves, and it's not even picking up fluctuations and movement. These camera systems are amazing. There's no weight. This thing could weigh a mouse and tell the exact weight of the perpetrator in the room. This thing has no weight to it. It's walking across the room, and it's physical. And as it gets to the kitchen door, it looks at the door. You can't see its eyes looking at the door, but you can see its face thinking, okay, just looking at the door. And then what it does, it looks up at the camera. And instantly as it does that, I know it knows it's being watched. Whatever this thing is,
something was there, yeah.
It knows it's being watched. Now, the next thing that happens is like where I had to ask him to stop the video. Because this thing just blinked out, and then blinked in with the video immediately as it blinks out, switches to the hall. So the hall camera's on there, and then it blinks. So it's blinked through the door. It's literally just jumped through the door. It hasn't passed through the door. Vanished on one side of the door and reappeared on the other, so we call it blinking. Now, that in itself is like, that's that's like something you'd see in a movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I'm literally watching this. So the video is what I'm watching. So I'm analysing all this. I'm not telling him what I'm thinking. And then I see it walk down the hall, about 20 feet, and turns to go up the stairs. But before it does, it looks up at the camera, directly into the camera. Yeah. And then it turns and slowly, right, making a sound, not a sound, there's no temperature fluctuation, there's still no weight being registered because the whole floor can weigh anything. And the camera moves up with it up the stairs, following it.
Yeah.
And then when it gets to the top, the camera view angle switches again, so now you're at the top of the stairs. And it looks right at the camera because if it gets to the top of the stairs, there's another camera up to the right hand side. It looks directly at that and then turns to its left and walks down the big landing. It's like a 60-foot landing, this place. Mansion.
Yeah.
It passes one door, which I believe is his bathroom. It passes another, which is bedroom 1. Bedroom 2, it stops, turns, and faces bedroom 2. And then the next shot you see is where this thing blinks out again, does exactly the same as it did in the kitchen. And then you're inside the bedroom 2.
Right.
On the camera, looking at this thing blink into existence inside the room. And the thing that shocks you now when you look is you can see the guy is in bed.
Right.
He's asleep.
Oh, so this is about
This guy's in bed. And we've just watched this thing blink into the room. You've got absolutely no idea. This bloke. He's fast asleep. So I'm assuming that, he's just asleep or something. He's been working all night or something.
Oh, yeah.
This thing walks to the end of his bed, turns, looks up at the camera, and the camera's blank out. And then I'm watching the timer. All the cameras, not just one. Every camera in the house goes down, which cannot happen. He's masked.
Yeah.
The whole system, so it can't be affected by electromagnetics, which would basically create a dampening field and shut off. They all shut down. This is something that can't happen to his system. It's not in there. It's not, it's been designed to shield it against magnetism.
Yeah.
And I'm watching this timer. 2 minutes 37 seconds go by and the cameras all come back on. Whatever this thing is, it's gone. It's no longer in the room, it's no longer in the house, it's not being registered because this thing's being tracked. They're tracking it as it walks and they're registering how many meters, how many feet. It's going up, all this information's going up, so it's tracking, it's going up. No temperature. There's no fluctuations in light. There's no refraction coming off it from the light as it passes under. There's no reflection. It's kind of matte black.
Yeah.
And then you realise that the mass of the guy in the bed with the covers over him, his mass has just reduced. It's almost like you've had a big bloke, because the guy's 6'2". He's a big bloke, not fat but big, like me. And now his body mass is reduced to the size of a skeleton with no flesh or muscle. As if you just put a skeleton on the bed and put the covers over it. You can see that the mass is reduced. That's a bit odd. And then the next camera shot shows it, and I'm a bit shocked by what I'm seeing. And still thinking, what? He's been exsanguinated.
What's that?
He's literally been drained of fluid. Every drop, including blood, water, everything. He's literally been dehydrated.
Right.
In 2 minutes 37 seconds. And the face, the death face he's got, as he dies, it's like terror. It's just like you're looking at a skeleton with just skin on it. It's just been literally exsanguinated. There's no blood splatter, there's nothing. It's as if something's just drained the life completely out of him and it's just shriveled.
Is that even possible in 2 minutes 37?
Yeah, I mean, this is like something you'd see in films, isn't it? So, I'm watching this and then I start speaking to him and I'm going, please tell me this is bullshit. And he's like, no, it's absolutely real. I just want your opinion on what it is. And I'm saying, well, mate, whatever this is, it's most definitely not human. And it has the ability to blink through 2 inches of solid iron.
Aye. It's all shut off, isn't it?
And magnetic fields have a problem going through iron. So this thing, it has to be made of energy. It has to be. Because it's got physicality and it can be tracked.
Mm.
It's not like an optical illusion or a
hologram. It's not, you know.
Yeah, it's not a hologram.
No.
Most definitely, this is some kind of being that's humanoid, clearly.
Weightless.
Well, is it weightless? I mean, its weight doesn't register on a floor yet. The floor can weigh a field mouse, which weighs nothing, less than a gram a field mouse weighs.
No.
You know, this guy must have weighed 170, this object, from going off, say, a massive human, it'd be 160 kilograms.
Kilos, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. A few stones.
Yeah, it'd be about 12 stone. Maybe. Because he was in muscle, but he was androgynous as well. He's got no, you know,
That's a good one.
got no penis. Looks to have breasts, but not. An odd shaped thing, but whatever it is. And I mean, I was like, what? Obviously, the guy's dead.
Yeah.
I can't give you many details about it.
It's
CID
must be
thing,
dead after that.
but it is classified as a cold case because they could never solve it.
Yeah.
And I said to him, whatever this is, it should be ringing alarm bells. And I did say to him, I said, look, you need to take this to the military.
Mm.
Because this is like, this could, whatever this is, it could get in anywhere. Because it's blinking through a 2-inch iron steel shutter. You know, it's not passing through things like a ghost would pass through a wall.
Yeah.
This thing's blinking from one side to the other, so it's literally warping its space.
Yeah, what's that called?
Well, it's jumping.
I don't know.
You know, it's jumping from A to B. You know, which does happen in physics. There's a process known in string theory where things can exist in the same place at the same time, yet there's only one object. You know, it's because the spatially jumping that does happen. It can be, it's been registered and seen. So what I'm saying is they literally look into a microscope at a particle.
Yeah.
But the particle is entangled. That's the word, entangled. On it, with another microscope. And they look through the other microscope and they can see the same particle. But there isn't a particle in the other microscope. There's only one here. But it's entangled in a magnetic field to that one, so there becomes two.
Really?
But there isn't two, there's only one.
They're no scientists, like.
Yeah, entanglement is like, woo.
Yeah.
So and this thing has to be able to entangle. So it can be in one place and the other at the same time, because there will be a moment of time where it blinks and blinks in and they'll be matching. And this one will disappear and this one will come in. It's so fast, you only see it because the camera's. As soon as it blinks out, the camera knows that it's blinked out and the most likely place it's gone is through the door. Blinks on the other side. And then it goes up the stairs, but it knows it's being watched because it's looking at the camera all the time. So I said to him, look, you're going to have to take this to the military. Because all I can tell you is this isn't human at all. It doesn't look like technology. It looks like biology. It's light years ahead of what we know about biology.
Is there any other reported cases of it?
Well, no. Because the guy was literally killed by this thing, it's not something they can kind of put out on the news, not so much been exaggerated.
Any other random sightings or weird things?
No, it was just this one. They were just so perplexed by it. And he said we were just talking in the office and saying what we need is some outside the box, and he said, "I know the very guy."
Mm-hmm.
So he came round for me. Unfortunately, I couldn't help him much other than analyse what had been going on. And I said, the irony of it, does that not strike you as weird?
It's very weird.
Because this guy designs a house,
Yeah,
the perfect burglar system. Yet the perfect burglar breaks in and kills him without setting an alarm off. It's almost, I said to the guy,
like in spite.
I said to my mate this idea, I said, it's almost as if this thing came to prove a point. Because the amount of technology that went into this house, when no one could break it and get out, no one. Because the entire house shutters itself.
Don't get it.
And I don't know any human being on the planet that can break through 2-inch solid steel. Iron. Shutter. No way.
Not in a blink of an eye.
No. Well, you couldn't hit it enough with your hands to break through it. You'd never burst through a 2-inch thing.
No.
And these things came down like the plates on a battleship, boom!
Yeah.
And the camera systems are tracking everything, weight, height, everything. Yeah, the only thing they could do was track the movement. They couldn't register anything.
Yeah, anything else?
No, they couldn't register weight, temperature,
And
electromagnetic field fluxes. They couldn't do that. When you watch it in infrared, it doesn't vanish. It should literally vanish when you're looking at it in infrared. It doesn't. You can still see it. You can see it in every light. Infrared, ultraviolet, ultravox.
Yeah.
And it should have been refracted out in the infrared. It should have been visible because it's matte black. We do have refraction on it, so it should appear like it's not there.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't. It was on them all.
Yeah, very strange.
I don't know what sort of energy it was giving off. For sure it was. That is the strangest. And the case is still a cold case.
Yeah.
It's never been.
No, it's
I mean, they know exactly what happened to
they can't prove
the poor guy in the bed.
Mm-hmm.
And, they can show this video to. But how can you? There's nothing to prosecute.
Yeah.
There's nothing to chase.
Do you know of a suspect?
Because this thing, the only bedroom that wasn't alarmed was the one the guy was sleeping in.
Yeah.
Yet no windows were open. Because every time a window's open, it's registered.
Mm-hmm.
Even registers how long the window's open.
Right.
It maps everything, and all this goes back to a central database. And if the computer system decides that there's a threat, it locks the house down automatically, calls the police.
Yeah, and it didn't think it was, then obviously.
No, the police.
The police would have been there.
Police were 12 minutes away. All this happened in less than 12 minutes. From it appearing in the kitchen, to going upstairs, killing the guy and vanishing. It's obviously been bleeped out of the room, bleeped into the kitchen. Made a point of walking around the house.
Yeah.
And because I said to him, it's almost as if this thing knew that nothing could get out of this house once it breaks, except whatever this thing was.
Yeah.
It's almost as if it was trying to prove a point. That's what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
And that'll stay with me for ages because it was just people call them shadow people. This wasn't.
No.
It just looked like a mannequin that had come to life. It was all black.
Mm. Yeah.
Fingers. There's just no facial features at all, apart from you could tell there was a nose, but you couldn't see nostrils.
So
it was like really like.
They were anything like it, honestly.
No, I've never come across anything since then either. And he swore me to silence for 10 years, was it? Before I could speak about it.
Mm.
But I haven't given any details. I can't give his name.
No.
It's just the weirdest. I just thought it'd be the weirdest thing that I've
obviously.
ever been involved in. And I was involved in it, and he was like, "Well, that's giving us more information. We could have come up with it ourselves." Because people who think outside the box just don't care. They just say what they think.
There's that in the CID, and
He has a procedure to go by, but he was making notes, and his mate, the other copper who was with him, didn't say a word. It was almost like they were shocked.
Mm-hmm.
this whole thing had literally shocked him to the core. Because it was shocking to me, but it was almost like, what am I watching a movie here?
Aye.
Or am I watching something that's reality?
Paranormal activity.
And then when you get into the details, like, oh, that's real. What?
Right,
What is that?
And then we never solved even.
No,
years
never
ago,
solved.
is it?
Nothing. And I saw the footage. There's like 20 minutes of footage, but that's just flashbacks of kitchens. There's 4 cameras in each room. So you can switch to it any angle to watch this thing from. You turned and looked at it from the back and see it from any side. And it was all the same. There's no difference. There's no light, from the light in the room. Because this is like a full lit kitchen.
Yeah, so you'd be able to see it.
But there's no light refracting off it, as if it just stays that ominous black colour all the way.
Yeah.
And it walks so calmly. Couldn't see toes. It was just like it was a foot.
Yeah.
But it had a sock on, but you can't see toes, but it was all pitch black. But you could see everything about it. It clearly had no clothes on. You see the crack of its arse. It's got an arse like us, but it's got no meat and 2 veg. Or a monkey. It's not this thing, you can't tell whether it's male or female. It's certainly androgynous. But
very strange.
Odd. Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't mechanical in any way, it was more biological.
Yeah.
How it moved, it was just like how we moved.
Yeah.
To be, the house you can never get back out of once you broke it.
Yeah, and this thing got in and out in a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Record breaking time.
Yeah. Because remember, the police are on the way. It takes them 12 minutes to get from where they are, screaming to this guy's house.
Yeah. Which is quite mind blowing actually, isn't it? So thinking that.
I think it turned out being about 7 minutes 40 something.
Which for the most world's high tech security, you'd expect in there within 30 seconds. Expect to have police on site or something,
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, they don't need to rush.
No.
Because whoever's broke in is get out.
Fair enough, I suppose.
Doesn't matter what they destroy in the actual room they're trapped in, but it's not going to be able to get out. So they don't really need to rush. They could have taken the time. And the police station's like only down the road. Yeah, so if your audience have got any ideas what this could have been, please don't use the word alien.
Please.
Because I don't think it was an alien.
Or lizard people.
I seriously think this was something beyond what you'd even consider. This is a different life form that was either being used to break in and infiltrate and kill this guy. Because can you imagine how many people would prefer an alarm system that captures the burglar as opposed to just allows the burglar to come in and get out? Imagine if everybody had that alarm system. Nobody would rob you.
No, exactly.
Because they'd never get out. So all these companies, all these firms that are building outdoor security systems, trillions of pounds worth every year. Maybe they came up with something to stop this guy. Because this guy was going to change the market.
That's some FBI, CIA.
I mean, the guy was, let's just say, in the right circles, especially with police forces, CID and people like that. This guy was all the security systems.
Yeah.
All their buildings.
Right.
Camera systems, but he was just going out of his way because this is his dream house.
They just want to protect it,
And now the poor son's dead.
Yeah, it's very strange,
What a horrible way to die. And it was obviously painful because all you could see on his death face was just agony.
And fear, bro, He woke up.
And there's no sound. These cameras record sound. There's no sound.
Yeah.
He didn't even scream. And they're still running the cameras were still running and recording sound, even when they turned to static for those 2 minutes, 37 seconds. They didn't just stop.
Yeah. Still playing or recording.
They just showed static.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And all you got was static. No sound, no nothing, yet they were still recording sound. But you couldn't hear this guy scream. It was almost like he was killed. And these screams, which he would have been screaming, because 2 minutes, 37 seconds is a long time
Yeah.
to have all the fluids drained out of your body. How the hell that happened, I don't know. Because there were no wounds, it's just like turned into a current.
Mm.
You know, just dried in the sun. It's literally, you've seen a mummy, haven't you, in Egypt? How they look. That's exactly how he looked.
And that's over about 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Or more, do you know what I mean?
And he was turned into that 6 foot bloke. 108 pound.
Someone out there might know.
Turned into a shriveled, scalified. He's been mummified, basically.
Mm. Yeah.
Literally exsanguinated all his blood and fluids and everything. But that's real, and that's the shocking thing about it. That it was, real out of this world. Which no one can come up with an answer for, but I can only guess that this thing is way beyond alien. It's something else. Whatever that is. Who knows? Anybody's guess. So many weird things.
So sometimes you need to see
living in this world. Well, yeah, I mean,
in that sense, the
only reason I got to see it was because
would you believe that?
Didn't know where to turn.
Would you believe it?
If it wasn't an official, can you help me, from my mate, who's a CID officer, detective said, look, could you just give us your view on this? I'd have thought it was made up.
Mm. Without seeing it, though.
Yeah.
Mm. Unless you have to see it to believe it.
Yeah.
Moments in it.
But take my word for it. I mean, whatever this thing is, it's still out there.
Mm.
It's still being used. But I just got that feeling that this thing was there to make a point. Mm. That's how it felt to me. It was making a point because it made a point to look at the cameras.
Yeah, it knew it was up.
Yeah, it wasn't rushing, it was taking its time, there was no rush. This thing was just as relaxed as anybody would be. In fact, probably walking too slow, making a point to just...
I did this.
Yeah, everything about it, sociologically speaking, just think, what?
Could have done it quicker, but I'll just take my time.
It's just, yeah. And straight, it knew exactly where this bedroom door was.
Mm.
Blinked through. Walked up to the bed, looked at the cameras just before they staticked out.
Someone out there.
And then when they came back on, there's nothing on the bed, which you could see from 4 angles because you can switch to any one of the cameras. Because I was having a right good look around because he said, He was at my house for about 3 hours.
Yeah.
And I could give him no more information. For audience.
Well, I say if anyone else has got any ideas.
Or if anyone's ever come across anything like that.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know.
Let us know what you think it is. If you believe it or not.
Yeah.